When it comes to three gun, just when you think you've got all the right gear and everything set up, when you go to the match, you find out that you don't. First and foremost, as you can see now, I have a chamber plug in the rifle. When I got there and I was ready to shoot, they said, "Hey, where's your chamber plug? Where's your safety device?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And everybody had all kinds of plugs. This is just one common type from Tapco. Some people had ones that are almost like flags, you know, had like nylon coming down from it so they could tell their rifle from other people's rifles. So always have a safety flag to stick in your rifle. My optic, which is a Vortex Strike Fire, had went from being visible, because I checked it before I handed it to him, to being invisible. So I heard the beep. I went to the barricade, readied my weapon, and then realized I don't see a red dot. But then I realized the Vortex Strike Fire, at least in this model, has a night vision setting. When I was shooting my stage, my string of fire, either me or the safety that I handed it to had pushed that night vision button. And after I started playing with some of the buttons, I realized, well, that's the problem. Well, you know, when you shoot with a free float rail like this, you're going to have to use a low profile gas block. Well, when it came to the match, what had happened is the more I shot it, the looser the gas block got. I had not cranked that thing down within an inch of its life. So at some point, when I was shooting my stage, I would go bang, click. I'm like, what the hell? I look, you know, magazines in, you know, I'm using good ammo, so rack it back. Bang, click. What the hell? You know, again, bang, click. Eventually, I got timed out. And after one stage of that, I was looking at the rifle. Just happened to be a guy standing next to me, and people were like, "Wow, I don't know what's going on. You know, did you load it right? Or are you using bad ammo? Or, you know," they're trying to figure out what's going wrong with it. And then one guy from the side looks, "Well, I can see what his problem is." And they're like, "What's that?" My gas block. And as you can see, now you can see where the gas block is here. And it's slid up about 1/4 of an inch. So with 1/4 of an inch forward, there's no way. It's not building up enough gas going through the system to kick it back to load another round. So the guy's like, "Yeah, it's a fairly simple problem. Your gas block wasn't down tight enough." And honestly, that was my fault, because I had reconfigured the rifle for what I was doing and I didn't crank it down. So his suggestion was, put some blue Loctite on it and crank it down as hard as you can get it. I primarily decided after the end of that year to basically create a designated 3-gun rifle. Just a rifle that all I want to do is shoot 3-gun with. So I decided to go with a rifle scope this time. It's shooting in a different category than just the red dot, but I figured, you know, this would be more accurate and more faster. Now, this is the Vortex Viper PST 1:4 scope, and it's a really good scope. So I got this, actually I wound up getting it just a few days before the match. So I had to go right away to the local range to try to zero this thing in, and it was a pain in the ass. Well, eventually I got it zeroed in enough that I thought that I could probably hit the target. And that's a problem, because with an optic, or rather with a rifle scope, you want it to be dead on. You don't want to have any problems with it. And it should. It's a 1:4 scope, you know. But the thing is, I was zeroing it at 25 yards. And like I said, at the range where I shoot, or where we do the 3-gun matches, it's 100 yards or maybe just a hair over 100 yards. So I guess what I didn't know, or what I didn't look up, was if you would look up a range card and you would see how much in distance or in inches you would be off of a target that's, you know, 100 some yards away from you. It's actually quite a bit. At zeroing at 25 yards, not being zeroed at say 50 yards like it should be, that's going to throw me off about 6 inches based on what I pull up. And that made a major difference, because if you're off, not dead center, that couple of inches is going to become 8 inches or 9 or 10. Hell, you could miss the whole damn target at that point. So that was the problem. Now, with shooting both brass and steel, I kind of realized that my rifle likes brass much better than steel. Now, obviously, steel is a lot cheaper than brass is, but you got to use what your rifle likes. I primarily run the 30-round PMags, and the problem was, with the PMags, you can actually load one more round than what you need, and that's a problem. Extra ammo in these, that causes a problem when it's time to shoot. Sometimes PMags can load about 31 rounds, not 30 rounds, and that causes a feeding problem.
Stand by.
And I'm like, oh shit. Because I'm essentially coming up and I'm shooting, and it's click, 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 nothing. I'm racking it, bang, click, 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 nothing. Rack, bang. Just like I did before when I had an issue with my gas block. I thought, well shit, this is another gas block problem. I thought that I got this beat. And come to find out, once I timed out and I went back and I started looking at my magazines, that probably what had happened was that I overloaded my mags. And some of the guys there who were, more experienced in 3-gun said, hey, you never load your magazine full with 30 rounds. Most of the guys, they shoot with 28 rounds in their magazines. Shooting a 3-gun match should not be hard, but unfortunately we make things hard for ourselves. So don't overload your magazines. If you're using a 1X red dot like this Vortex, make sure that you get the kind that doesn't have a night vision option. Simply, in most matches, you really won't need it. Make sure that your gas block is cranked and tightened. If you have to use blue Loctite on it, then use it. Just make sure that the gas is running properly. If you've got a new rifle scope and you're taking it to your next 3-gun match, make sure it's zeroed and zeroed properly. My suggestion is using a minimum of a 50-yard zero. Make sure that you have a chamber flag. You're going to need that, and for each event that you go to, it's going to be a requirement.